Hi everyone. I wanted to take a moment and illustrate how you could use Excel to find the frequency of occurrence in a data set. And let me see if I can show you a couple ways to do it. So in this problem, you're being asked to multiply the set of daily output by the frequency of their occurrence and then add the total of these products and divide by the total number of the units produced. And in this case, it's Slinkies. And we've got the data set on the screen. Now, it's not a very big data set, so because it's small, there's probably a couple ways you can do it. But let me show you a way you could do it even if you had a big data set. Okay, you've seen, let me highlight the range here. I guess these are formatted. Let me just change the format a little bit. Okay, so that way it doesn't stand out. The other thing I want to do is format that so that we can see the numbers with a comma. It's just my personal preference. Maybe underline both of these, put them to the right. Okay, so we've got days of the month and what the output was. We've got various data in there, but we're interested in determining the frequency of occurrence. Well, what you could do is, let's see if I can do this right. Let's grab the day in the output, and then go up to the Insert menu and drop in a pivot table. Okay, it'll give us a choice of a pivot table or a pivot chart. We just need the table. And it's highlighted the range because we did it before we started. And we need to put where we want to put it. Let's put it on the existing worksheet, and let's just put it right here. Okay, drop that down and I can hit OK. And now I've got a pivot table. Let me slide this a little bit, or maybe shrink this down so that you can see all of it. Yeah, there you can see all of it. Now off to the right in Excel, I'll get a pivot table field list. And I'm not going to be able to illustrate that very well. But what you can do on that pivot table field list, let me see if I can, yeah, I guess I can move this over. Normally that's attached to the right side of your Excel screen. Okay, but it has four little boxes down here where it wants you to put some things. Well, down the rows, I'd like to know the various different outputs. So I'll grab output, and I want output on the rows. So I'll drop it right here. Now when I slide over, we now have the output. Now I'm not interested in total, so what I'm going to do is change this. I'll go to the value of the field settings, and what I really want is a count. It's going to sum them. I only want the count. Okay, now this is a little bit small. Let me make this a little bit large for you to see. So it's count of output on the rows, and I put that in the value area. And I should be able to slide over, and look, there's our answer. So let me slide this off the screen now. You now have the output listed by each element that were in the data set, and it looks like we only had four numbers, 50,000, 100, 125, and 160, and we had the number of occurrences of each of those. Okay, so using Excel's pivot table, you can come up with the occurrences. Now, I'll slide down and show you that there was only 30 pieces of data, so sure enough, the total of 30 is correct. Okay, that's one way to do this. Now, let me back this off, and I can show you another way to do this as well. And this works for a small data set, which is just sort it, right? So we go up here, we go to Data and Sort. And we want to sort by output. Now you'll see in this case, I had the range. It assumed that the label appeared above it. Okay, and I think even if you grab the title and do a sort, it'll recognize that if there's a label above the number, that's probably the title. See? Excel's pretty smart about that. And sort by value, smallest to largest. That's fine. We hit OK. And then what we have is them all grouped together. So now if you wanted to find the occurrence, you could simply highlight this. Look right here as I highlight it. Okay, I won't be able to point to it, but you'll have to see it. And what you see is it says 7 rows by 1 column. Well, if we have 7 rows, I know I've got 7 of that value, right? And come on down here, And I can see I've got 9 of this value, right? And of the 125, I've got, oh, I went too fast, I didn't see it here, 8 rows. Okay, now obviously this won't work, using this kind of technique won't work if it's a large data set. But you could do other things. You could, put ones in here and then sum them, right? But certainly the pivot table is a fast way to do it. Either way, I just wanted to take a few moments and show you how you could do this without having to sort of jot it or do it in your head or doing it with a sheet of paper off to the side. Okay? And hopefully you can use that then in some of the statistical work you may need to do from time to time. Thanks, everyone.